Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for today's video. It is going to be my second update in the graveyard project pan. This will also be the last update before the finale, which will be happening on Halloween. And if you are new to the graveyard project pan, this project was created by Emily from Emily and Max, who I absolutely love and adore. I will have her channel linked down below, as well as all of the other information pertaining to this project. This project has been going on for quite a few years at this point in time. I don't know if it's 4, 5, 6, I'm honestly not sure, but there's a kind of spooky element to this project. So there's two categories of makeup products that we work on in this graveyard project pan. The first is collecting cobwebs, and these are makeup products in our collection that are old, crusty, dusty, collecting cobwebs at the back of the drawer, kind of up to your interpretation. But I have 3 products in that category, and then I have 3 products in the resurrection category, which are makeup products that we have worked on in separate project pans that either maybe we were successful but it wasn't like a completed product and now we want to pull it back out to complete it or to hit a new goal, or worked on it in a separate project and we're unsuccessful in hitting our goals, so we're bringing them back out to work on them in a new project. I do have 2 products that I am going to be decluttering from my collection that I'm working on in this project, so I will replace those 2 products with others. Aside from that, I don't have any completed rollouts. As typically goes with this graveyard project pan, it's usually my least successful, and I think it's because these are typically historically neglected products. So if you guys are interested in my updates, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project panning content, palette themed content, or just chit chatting about makeup, I'd love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. All right, before we jump in, I do want to note I am filming this video 11 days in advance. I just have an incredibly busy August. I am traveling at the end of this month with my daughter. We're doing a girls trip to Chicago, and I want to make sure I get this video up on time, so we're filming it a little bit early. I could maybe definitely have made some extra progress on some of these products, but that'll just carry over to the finale, which again, as mentioned, will be on October 31st. I will also note that I have not worn makeup much throughout the month of August thus far, so a lot of these products have been kind of neglected. But let's jump into let's just jump into the products that I'm going to be rolling out. One of them is a decluttered eyeshadow, and I didn't feel like going to dig it out, but it is the Essence Metal Shock eyeshadow. And that was rolled in for the collecting cobwebs category. So we can start with collecting cobwebs. That is just a single, like, not potted, but yes, potted. Yeah, it like came in an actual single that isn't a magnetic single. Very beautiful metallic shade, but I just wasn't reaching for it. And I have so many beautiful metallics, holographic shades, special shades throughout some of my indie eyeshadow palettes that I just didn't feel like it was necessary to keep this single shadow around to like force me to use it. I think I've maybe used it a couple of times in the last couple of years. I think I really struggled to let go of that one because it was a product that I really loved at the beginning of kind of my makeup journey and really getting into makeup. So I really struggled to let that one go, but alas, that is gone. And then the second product is also collecting cobwebs that I'm decluttering, and it is the NYX Born to Glow foundation. This is another one I feel like I've really struggled to come to terms with the fact that my skin is aging and I just don't love all of the makeup products that I loved 4 or 5 years ago. This may be more like 3 years ago. I think I purchased this, no, 2020, so 4 years ago. This was like a favorite foundation that summer, but I have this on today. I was giving it one last chance, and it just settles into my forehead wrinkles unlike anything else. Yes, I do need to go get some Botox to fill in the lines. Just kidding, you don't need to do that, but I would love to do that. But still, like, I don't want to keep a foundation in my collection that like I literally need to go get Botox to feel like it looks okay on my skin. So I am going to just be decluttering this one. I'm going to set this in a pile. I think I'll do an end of year, just like short declutter. I don't think I'm going to have a lot more products that I want to declutter, but this is definitely one of them. The blush on my cheeks today is another. I'm not loving the makeup today, but I did just recently finish doing like a large makeup declutter, so if you want to catch that, I'll leave that linked below. But there's a couple more products that are going to be joining the 2024 declutter situation before the end of the year. All right, the last product that was in the collecting cobwebs category was my Hourglass Ghost Quad. And this isn't necessarily like a neglected product, but it's one of my older face palettes in my collection, and I wanted to just give myself an excuse to show this palette a little bit more love. I gave myself the goal to reach for each of the shades in this palette 7 total times, for a total of at least 28 uses. If I ended up reaching for like this shade 10 times, I don't get to like take 3 uses away from this shade, if that makes sense. So I will say I kind of forgot about this and have been focusing more on single blushes in my collection, or we know I love my NARS face palettes. So not the most success with this, but hoping that I can still reach my goal in the next 2 months on this. It's definitely still doable. So I've reached for this palette a total of 6 times, only 1 time since the last update. And I've officially reached for this shade right here 3 times, and then this shade right here 3 times. I have not reached for either of these 2 shades yet at all. I would love to get my uses, my 7 uses with this, maybe just bust through those the first week of September, just because this one definitely is more, at least in my opinion, like just something more summery, which summer is now gone. Way to go, Steph. Or as I said, I'm filming this 11 days in advance. I'm like, I don't necessarily want to bring this to Chicago with me, but maybe I could just put this in my carry-on. That is such a beautiful, just very light peach nudie shade. I am kicking myself that I didn't reach for this, because this was like exactly what I would be looking for this summer. Like this, like a nude, but then like a little bit of a peachy nude. Ugh, I screwed up. But then I feel like I can easily get 7 uses out of this between like September and October, because this is a really beautiful mauve shade. This shade right here is such a nude on the cheeks. Sometimes I just use that almost as a blush topper. Very easy to use. And then I feel like I could easily get, what do I need, 4 more uses? Just 4 more uses with this one, because I feel like this one, again, would kind of be a really pretty shade kind of heading into colder months. I really hope I can roll this one out by the finale. Or I hope it's a success by the finale. All right, that brings me into the 3 resurrection products. So 3 products that I was working on in separate projects and was not successful in reaching my goal, or I'm just bringing them back out. So up first, I have my Westman Atelier highlighting stick. This is in Lit Up, and this is it all rolled up, you guys. Like I literally, it's almost flush with the packaging. I'll be really curious. It's such an emollient formula. I don't think it would be hard to just keep sticking my little, I have like a little highlighting brush. So I will be very curious how deep this product goes. I actually use this underneath my Vesa highlight, which we're gonna get to today. I like this product. It's just, I have to be very cognizant of the days that I reach for this, because if I am going to work, sometimes like it just melts off throughout the day. It's definitely not the most long-lasting formula, and it's one of those like sticky formulas that doesn't set down. So like if I'm outside and it's windy, like the wind blows in it. So I like this. I definitely do not think that this product is going to be for everyone. I do have a second one of these. I purchased Parla, which was a limited edition shade last year. Parla is not quite as emollient as this one. I will say, I don't necessarily know that I would purchase any more of these just because they're so expensive. I will say I was in store around last Sephora VIB sale time, and one of their, I can't remember if it's a powder or if it's a cream, or if it's like a cream to powder. One of their, like, it's in a compact highlighters. It's $75, absolutely insane, but it was quite possibly the most beautiful highlight I've ever swatched. So I definitely am interested in picking that up. But just because of how expensive these are, and it's not like I'm reaching for them on a daily basis, it's not my most favorite highlight of all time, I don't necessarily know that I would purchase these again. But if you're looking for a luxury highlight experience, cream highlight experience, I think it's a really beautiful kind of wet, just dewy, glossy, almost editorial sort of situation. So there's definitely a time and a place, but a time and a place in my everyday life, there is not. I am still hopeful, because I am, again, already flush with the packaging. I am still hopeful I can finish this. It just depends on how deep in the product I can go. Okay, speaking of my Vesca highlight, this is probably my proudest accomplishment since the last update. So I rolled in the Vesca highlight in the shade Moonlight and gave myself a 50 use goal with this product. This was in a previous project, I believe whole collection project pan, and I gave myself the goal to hit pan. Then I hit pan, and I will post pictures over here of the progress, but I'm very excited because I definitely know that I have expanded the pan in this highlight since rolling it into this project, which just makes me so happy. I had reached for this 15 out of my 50 uses last update, and then I did reach for it an additional 17 times, putting me at a total of 32 out of the 50 uses, meaning that I need to reach for it 18 times in order to achieve my goal, which would be the most that I've reached for it in the last, since the last two updates. I did 15 and then 17, so we got to get 18. But this is a really, really beautiful highlight. I like it both as an inner corner highlight as well as on my, as my actual face highlight. I actually have it on as both today. It is such a beautiful kind of yellow gold champagne shade that isn't super intense, but it's also not the most subtle highlight either. I just think it is so beautiful. Definitely my favorite non-pink highlighter in my collection. I love a pink highlight, but then any non-pink highlight, or my first non-pink highlight choice would be Vesca Moonlight. It's such a shame Vesca is no longer a brand because I love this so much, and if they had a pink highlight, which they probably did back in the day, I would definitely pick up their pink highlight. All right, and then the last product before we get into the two products that I'm gonna be rolling in is my Chanel bronzer, the Le Beige bronzer, and this was previously in a whole collection project pan. I reached for this 30 total times, and so then I rolled it into this project and gave myself a 50 use goal with this one as well. This is obviously Chanel, so more expensive. I think I paid $55 for this, and this definitely is getting older in my collection. I'm very happy that I feel like the dip in the center is a pretty decent dip. I don't know how, I genuinely don't know how much or how well the dip has expanded since the last update, but it does just make me so happy to see a good dip going in this. I think this is an absolutely beautiful bronzer, especially on days that I'm going for lighter makeup, just because it isn't my most pigmented cream bronzer. There it is swatched right there, but it just gives this beautiful kind of neutral, slightly warm leading golden glow, and on my complexion I really, really enjoy it. So as of the last update, I reached for this 9 out of 50 uses. I reached for it an additional 9 times. Again, I did not reach for makeup all that frequently in August, and I've traveled quite a bit in August and a little bit in July, and it's not the easiest bronzer to travel with. So that's a bit of a struggle. I'm at 18 out of 50 uses, meaning I would need to reach for this 32 additional times in the next 2 months to hit my goal. I don't necessarily know that I'm gonna get to 50 uses, but I would love to get another 15 uses even on this. If I would even just have a pan in this, I would be so, so happy. So I'm not so sure what's gonna happen with this one, but even if we don't get to 50 uses, but we get a pan, I would be leaping for joy. All right, that brings me to the two products that I'm going to be rolling in to replace the two products that I'm rolling out. So to replace the NYX Born to Glow, I'm going with another complexion product, foundation situation that I purchased in 2020, and that is the Nabla Beauty Balm, Skin Realist Beauty Balm. This was another favorite. These two were two favorites from that summer, and I just have not felt inclined to reach for this as frequently, honestly, since the summer of 2020. So I would love to even get to Skin Realist here. That would take great effort, I do understand that, and summer is over. So I'm not reaching for a tinted moisturizer as frequently, but I will say there are usually 1 to 2 days in my work week where I'm definitely going for lighter makeup and either doing just a primer. I'll often do just the Tula primer because that has a bit of a tint to it, or do honestly no foundation at all, but I feel like I could quickly reach for this product to get some use out of it. And so I'd love to finish half of this or decide that maybe I don't actually need this in my collection anymore either. We will see. Okay, and then the next roll in it might be a little bit wild, but I want to see if I can do it. So to replace the Essence Super Shock, whatever, Essence Metal Shock, I am rolling in some older eyeshadow palettes from my collection. and I want to no pan left behind all of my Huda Beauty 9-pan palettes. Somewhere lurking around is my Jaguar palette, and I'm currently working on the Tiger palette in my no pan left behind series. But I recluttered the Nude Rich into my collection. I think last year I grabbed this back from my mom's. I also have the Nude Medium. I have the Neon Orange, which I really should try and use in the next few days here. And then I have the Wild Python, and as I also mentioned, I gotta find my Wild Jaguar. But I really want to do the series that Haley O does, where she does like testing all of my makeup and then decides which palette she wants to keep and which one she doesn't. I want to start doing that because I have no pan left behind, did quite a few palettes in my collection, which I think I'm going to start doing that series. But I kind of want to do it how she does, where she goes kind of in alphabetical order. And I feel like we got to get going on the Huda. We got to get going on testing the Huda. So my goal is going to be to no pan left behind in the next 2 months all of my Huda 9-pan palettes. Let's see if we can do it. I'm honestly not super confident in myself, but maybe this will give me a little boost of motivation to do so. And that is going to be the second roll-in for this project and the conclusion of this video. I would love to know in the comments below what products that are either collecting cobwebs or you've worked on in projects that you weren't successful in. What products of those are lingering in your collection? Let a girl know in the comments below. Other than that, thank you so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting me and my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.